It's Feedback Friday, everybody. What's up?
Welcome back to another episode of Feedback Friday.
Yeah, I'm excited about talking through the qualities of emails with you, Matt Helbig. Good to see you again. It's been a minute.
Yeah, this one popped up in my inbox, and I thought it would be worth talking about.
Yeah, well, tell me more.
This episode is sponsored by Influence. From subject lines to pre-header text, call to action button placement, email content, header images, and more, you can test up to 5 versions of an email with the Influence marketing platform. Get a demo at the link below. Well, I was just shopping around for a private jet, trying to get the PJ set up. This is a luxury travel company. They have some really simplistic use of live text, and I think they just use very simplistic colors of their logo throughout the emails and some stunning photography, and it just really brought me in.
They do a really interesting job of getting you right in there pretty fast. They're using simple typography, these blocks to call out actions. It's a little bit much for me to have black, gray on black, white on black, this big black block. Oh, now a gray block with orange in it, but that's just a highlight. It's not an actual CTA, those kinds of things. And it gets me down to a CTA at the very bottom, for contact us, but that one's a CTA and this one's not. There are some things that are effective. One of the things that I continue to talk to people about is to simplify your emails. Get simple faster, and it really moves the design forward. So just stay simple and get your typography right. So from a typography perspective, I think they're doing some interesting things here. I actually think the mobile works better than the desktop in this version. But think about this email for a minute. Imagine if this big black block wasn't there, just the ways that might be different. They're trying to solve a problem. They're trying to call this out. That's one way to do it. But imagine it without the photography. It would just be a completely different email and would not work nearly as well. So I think you're right. The imagery is really important, and they're using it really well. Should we jump to the next one and see what else is going on?
Sure.
It looks like you've signed up, which is awesome. Little do they know that you're not actually going to buy a jet on really good emails money. So what is it about this one that caught your eye?
I think the ticket price for a single seat on their jet is over $1,000. So it's almost like a weird thing to be selling in an email. I really just liked, especially this mobile view, how simplistic and with the left-align text and the use of live text again. The double repeating CTAs, I think, sort of works for this, but I like the little icons with the different seats. So to me, it's just a very simple pared down email compared to some other travel emails that we might have seen, from airlines showing a lot of different images. But this one just seems very clean, and right. I think they maybe know who their customer is, and they don't need to be sold really on this service. Either you want to fly on a private jet or you don't.
One of the things that I would say from a brand perspective is, on the one hand, I like the emails because of how simple they are. On the other hand, I feel like a brand like this has an opportunity. Look how sleek this black jet is. That's amazing. Why not go with a dark theme, kind of more refined email? That's a big question I've got. It seems like something like that would be aesthetically more in line with their audience and somebody who's ready to plop down $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a flight to some very specific places, right? They only fly 4 places currently. So they're out of the gate, right? This is a brand new startup, if I'm not mistaken. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah, it's some interesting things. But again, one of the things that they're doing here is they're just keeping it really, really, really simple. It's amazing how often teams just get their emails too complicated too fast. They can work on their style. I'm going to guess they're trying to really look at, are these emails performing as we need them to before they do anything else, which I think is an interesting move. This is a similar one, the template set that they've got. This is a design system in the simplest possible way to think about it, right? You have these blocks, this hi there block with a subheading in gray, and you can see they use it here and they use it up here as well. And these blocks just get repeated. The difference would be this one has a white background versus this one has a slightly gray background. So it's just interesting, but they've got just a really straightforward, way of moving people through this stuff. And I think that's fascinating. So this last one is about Ibiza and just gets a little bit more into, some of the details of safety. I think this is an interesting case. I'm super curious to see what our audience thinks. What do you think are going to be their main questions?
Me personally, I'm not really sure how to impact this more. Like, I think you could add some more stuff, but then it might start feeling a little bit cluttered.
Sure.
Maybe this is a good example of letting someone know that, hey, like, Ibiza is calling you. Maybe like they're using their website a little bit more to sell, and this is really just an invitation to go learn more about their service. Yeah, I guess you said email doesn't have to be super complicated. Maybe it is just a notification, that top of mind awareness to bring someone back or let them know that you guys are still traveling.
I wonder how often these things are getting sent and some of that. But I think one of the things that I am noting here is like they keep promoting these feature sets per email, but they don't tend to repeat them. So for instance, your next vacation away to avoid crowds. This is like one feature, right? And then the next time they've got another feature, just sort of the places that they're going. And then the next time they've got safety. So instead of putting like safety, variety of places, that kind of thing in one email, they separate it up and kind of hit you in some different ways. It's just an interesting strategy. One of the main things that I would probably do is with an airline like this that is really about developing that sense of wanting to go, that sort of like hunger to go and the ability, the financial ability to go. I think that the brand needs to get more refined. Like this Aero brand, like that's really hot. I like that. It's this idea of a sunset inside a airplane window.
Oh, I just got that. Wow, nice.
That's hot. That's like, yeah, I want to travel to the cool places and see sunsets in cool places. And look at me, I'm on an airplane. But I think that in order to appeal to that audience, they will need to like step it up a little bit. Think about like Tracksmith's emails. Those don't feel like Old Navy shorts. They're legit. I'm actually wearing a pair right now. But it's just like, they're just refined, and they're more expensive too, but they're really high quality. And so I think you're going to need to start to sell the little details of what you're selling, not just a flight. It is nice to avoid the crowds, especially these days, right? Like that's a selling point. But I would promote it a little bit more clearly, I think. But I think this is an interesting use case. I mean, we talked about this not long ago, but on Really Good Emails, you can go click the code on an email detail page, and then you can go see that code. This is a great example for you to go see this code and then go and take it and change it so it's not copying, and then play with it, learn from it, make it your own. Like this is a great example of a very simple template that you could go and learn from and use and try things with. Like this is the kind of simplified approach that I think could really work well for somebody out of the gate, like just needing to get information out. Like this is pretty generic, I think is a good word, but it's doing enough of the job. Like I think the change that could happen in this email is the next 10 to 15%. A lot of it is already there. Well, Really Good Emails, folks. We love you. You're such a great community. Thanks for being out there. Let us know who you want to see on Feedback Friday or who you think we should be talking to. We will see you out there. Bye-bye.
Peace. Thanks again to Influence for sponsoring this episode. Book your demo with the link in the video description.